usually when people say that something is bad for the industry, they usually mean that it's bad for people who are counting on things staying the way they've always been. Okay, I was online recently and I saw a headline about Christopher Nolan having an opinion on this whole idea of Netflix buying Warner Brothers Pictures, and he was saying, "Oh, the loss of a major studio is so bad." And my friend Dustin Hollywood, who's quite a player in the AI video space, he was chiming in and saying, "Where is it going? What's lost? It's not going anywhere. They're still making movies." And the whole thing dovetailed into a conversation about the AI revolution that's happening and the impact that it's having on Hollywood. I think that people were saying that Netflix isn't gonna take the same stance as the Hollywood studios on this whole AI issue. And I don't know why it's inherently a bad thing, because I've been saying for a while, since this whole AI video thing started happening, that we're moving into a world where 5 guys in a basement are going to be able to make the Lord of the Rings, and you're not going to be able to tell the difference, right? And that's a good thing. I can actually remember sitting in my car, and my wife was listening to me talk about it, and I was getting so excited about it. And she was talking like I ought to think this is a bad thing, because she's like, "This is going to affect your industry." And at the time, I'm thinking like, well, I don't have Hollywood knocking down my door asking me to make stuff for studios. What I had at the time was millions of individuals the world over who I can go direct to via YouTube. That was my model, not the Hollywood model. So of course, any tools that let me make stuff that heightens any kind of level of immersion or storytelling is going to be a good thing, right? So the conversation online about this whole thing with the Hollywood studios, somebody replied to me, and I think they misunderstood what I was saying, because they were like, "Yeah, I just think it's a real, it's going to be bad for the industry." No, it's a sad thing for the industry. And I said, yeah, it's going to be sad the exact same way the MP3 revolution was sad for the music industry, right? So that is to say that people who were counting on us having to buy CDs forever, they're the ones that feel bad about what MP3s and file sharing did to the music industry all those many years ago. But fast forward in time to the present, where me and you get to go online, and like all of my favorite music is bands with tens of thousands of listeners if they're really popular, hundreds of thousands if they're wildly successful, bands that aren't, on FM terrestrial radio, who I only ever discovered because of algorithmic playlists or because it was recommended to me somehow, right? This is the music that I listen to, and there's so much awesome music out there that I otherwise would never have been able to hear. And that's the way the companies would have wanted it to stay. That's what they mean when they talk about bad for the industry. I'm pro-creator. I spent a lot of years being very, very dogmatically anti-corporate, nihilistic, tear it all down, activist mindset. That was me for a really long time. All of that to say that I am very pro-creator. I'm very much on the side of the individual creator pouring their heart into something. I will side with that person every single time over a corporation trying to assert its rights and its levers of control. Okay? So I've got a friend, I bring her up all the time. I talk about this woman named Tasha Caulfield, who probably this very moment as I'm recording this video is probably working on her feature-length AI-generated Muhammad Ali biopic. Okay, so Tasha is such a trailblazer. She is taking, for the longest time, AI has been talked about that it's this collaborative medium. It's such a big endeavor to make a movie. What's so unique about it is that it's the one art form that you can't do alone. You have to get a huge bunch of people and a lot of resources to make a movie. Well, now, guess what? Now, making a movie can be a solo effort like writing a novel. And somebody like my friend Tasha can sit down and pour her heart out and her creativity and express what she wants to express as a solo operator, making a whole movie. And it can look just as good as, and maybe the haters are going to say, "Oh, it doesn't look like it." Yeah, because this is the worst these tools are ever going to be. we're not very far off, friends, from the stuff that you make on your computer and the AI apps, quality wise, technicality wise, being indistinguishable from what Hollywood makes. And I will always be on the side of that individual creator every single time. But the problem is that we view the way culture happens through the lens and the perspective of the companies that own the assets, to the degree that people mistake the health of the institutions for the health of culture itself. Personally, I think that's a dangerous road to go down, and it's not where we should be headed at all. That's just my opinion. But whenever a major shift happens in entertainment, you hear the same phrase over and over and over again. This is bad for the industry. But really what it is there's two tracks, right? There's the institutional frame and the audience frame. So the institutional frame, you're talking about studios and budgets and mainstream prestige and top-down control and the tradition of it all, right? But with the audience frame, now you're talking about access and choice and prices coming down, infinite variety in what you get to choose from to consume, and also participation. Creating is the new consuming. Like, I talk about it all the time with people. People be talking to me about video games, and I have to level with them and say that, you know what, dude, all of my like playing video games and watching movie time is now what I spend doing AI video. Like, it's my hobby and it's my craft at the same time. It's the same thing, right? So I make cool stuff and it's fun to do, and I do it as a hobby, but I do it so that I can put it out there for people to enjoy it, and people tend to like it, so it just keeps rolling and snowballing, right? And everybody can do this now. This is the world we're living in. So way back in the day with that MP3 revolution, what died wasn't music. What died was a specific business model. And when it died, it meant that every single one of us had access that we never had before. And I don't understand how anybody could not think that that's a good thing. But at the end of the day, what it's all about is that AI, streaming, and IP licensing are not destroying storytelling. They're breaking the monopoly on who gets to sorry about that. They're breaking the monopoly on who gets to decide what stories get told. I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm way, way, way more excited at the idea that people from nowhere are going to come out with perspectives that we've never considered before. That's more exciting to me than what Hollywood is going to do with the umpteenth reboot of an 80s cartoon show that we all remember. You know what I'm saying? But I want to know what you think about all of this. So please leave me a comment. We'll have this conversation and keep it going and flowing.